I'm just on my way back from picking up some medicine for Willa, and this is hopefully going to revolutionize our lives. But basically, this box here contains a very, very expensive drug.
It's a boys' day on board today. Mom and Willa have gone to see the doctor. We've traveled a lot and we've gone through a lot of different medical systems, and to be honest, we find it almost cheaper and faster. Actually, most definitely is cheaper and faster to get medical care overseas than it is at home in Canada. I had to take a drill away. But what I was trying to say is we've gone through so many countries and done so much medical care that we needed at the time, whether it was after she was pregnant or Willa had allergies and had to get prick tested and blood tested. So if you're planning to set sail, if you're planning to go traveling around the world, do have a look at the healthcare in places such as South Africa or Thailand, and know that you will be paying, yes, but you will also get it quickly.
We've been struggling with exposures to dairy for Willa for a long time. It's very hard to go out. Even when you say no dairy, even if the pan's not washed properly, she sometimes get a little itch and reaction. And it's airways, and that's so frustrating. It's scary because she can stop breathing, her airways could close up, that kind of thing. And she's getting a bit older. She likes to play with kids. She wants to go out. I want her to be able to go out and kind of try and have a normal life.
To inject, place black end against outer thigh. Then press firmly and hold in place for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Willa has a very serious allergy to dairy. Anytime she even gets a trace of dairy into her system, we typically have to administer an EpiPen because her airway closes up and her immune system reacts very, very strongly. So there's a drug here, everywhere around the world. It tames down the immune system reaction to those kind of incidents, and it's, I think, $80,000 in Canada to administer this drug, or to get a prescription for this drug every year.
And there's this new drug called, it's not new, it's an old drug that they've sort of repurposed, I guess, as they do with some of these things. And they're starting to allow it to be used in children for immunotherapy and to reduce, basically it lowers IgE levels, which are the antibodies in Willa's blood against the dairy. And hopefully, the plan is that this will reduce the severity of her reactions to dairy if she ever should have an exposure, and we try not to expose her.
If the expiration date is out there, like a long ways away, we'll probably pick up a whole bunch of it. And we may even do a trip back to South Africa to purchase more. I'm putting this out there because a lot of people deal with various conditions, various medical conditions and prescriptions and needs, and do have a look in other countries. There is a lot of value in going abroad in terms of medical care if you can not afford it at home or don't get it in time. I am sick and tired of waiting in Canada for medical care. There's pros and cons to all of that, a lot of political debate around that, but in terms of us and what we need, we are people that just get it done. We go out there and we get it done. So this is what we're doing, and it's working for us. Take it or leave it. Thank you to all the nurses and doctors in Canada, by the way. You guys are awesome. I think you guys don't get enough acknowledgement in terms of how hard you work. This is not about you, this is about the medical system.
And I actually decided to buy this here in South Africa because it is half the price of Canada. And it is not a cheap drug. It's something that we basically considered out of our reach. We're doing 1 vial a month, 150 milligrams a month, and that is, it's around 4,500 Canadian for us right now. And that's what's in this box. Also, in theory, they've been using it for immunotherapies now a lot now, and it reduces the reaction which then allows the dosage to be increased as we work through immunotherapy with Willa. Now, we haven't committed to that because that involves taking a break. And that's a hard one with our lifestyle. We want to give her the opportunity to have the best life and, you know, try this immunotherapy, and hopefully it would see some benefits, but we need at least 6 months to a year in one spot. That's going to be hard for us. So not yet, but we're working on it.
By the way, her condition is very unlikely to go away, very unlikely to grow out of it, according to the experts.
Yeah, I hope that Willa can have like a normal freaking childhood where I'm not stressing every time she goes to someone else's boat or goes out with her nan or goes out with her cousins. I think no one does it on purpose, not myself, not anyone else, but accidents happen and it is scary when it does. So this can reduce the scare factor. We think it's worth it. If it can save our little girl's life, it's worth it. But it's not cheap. So we're gonna give it a go. Oh good, it's still cold and frozen in there. So yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. A month's worth?
1 month's worth, a year's worth.
That's what I meant. A year's worth. Let's get it in the fridge. By the way, Willa is doing amazing. She is a healthy, happy little girl with a severe allergy and asthma and eczema and all the other stuff that often goes around with allergies. It's usually not just one thing. And she's doing absolutely fantastic. We've had a few, like, when we were on the road trip, we had a few incidences where, you know, she got an itchy tongue and like she actually recognized enough that it wasn't feeling good and she stopped eating her breakfast.
Our goal here is to get her to an age where she can self-auto inject the epinephrine pens alone with us, without us being around, so that she's safe.
By what Ben means by get her to an age where she can do that is we want to have her not die.
Yeah, so we figure that'll probably be another 5 or so years until she's 8 or 10 years old, probably. So that's the goal here. In general, the healthcare and drugs here in South Africa are, we find, quite affordable and quite available. The same case was in Thailand.
So we get a lot of questions about healthcare abroad and how we're managing it and how we're, you know, how in general people manage healthcare abroad. And we have been very fortunate to be traveling in areas right now where healthcare abroad, out of pocket, without a plan, without anything, is affordable.
As long as that healthcare is, you know, run of the mill, so, or planned. So for example, we did some pregnancy stuff with Willa and Bodhi in Thailand. We did some allergy stuff in Thailand with Willa. We're doing allergy stuff with her again here. Other cruisers, and we're not alone, other cruisers here are getting
yeah, people are having so much done here in Thailand. I mean, it's anything right through the gamut from cosmetic stuff all the way through to minor surgeries, dental work,
blood tests.
Yeah, blood tests, just sort of, you know, ongoing healthcare issues that you might want to just check up on. There are great doctors here in South Africa. For run-of-the-mill stuff, where we're just going to doctor's appointments and things like this, we never submit claims for that. It's just easy and it's inexpensive in the grand scheme of what it costs to sail around the world. And, you know, $60 to $80 Canadian to see a specialist is a price that we are 100% willing to pay. Whether or not to carry insurance is a personal choice, and we do carry insurance. We carry emergency medical insurance. And the reason we do this is mostly because of the high cost if you are like on death's door or need to be evacuated if you're in a like remote part of a country or in a remote country and need to be evacuated to somewhere where there's more access to sophisticated medicine and different life-saving type machines and things like that. We've taken advantage of something here in South Africa when we're not the only ones that we know of in just a small little community of boaters here right now, and that is that some of the medicines in South Africa that are sort of specialized are easier to access, both financially and sometimes just because there's more hoops and things that you normally need to go through in Canada to get access to them, or in the States or wherever you might be. Even I think in South Africa, if you're on a healthcare plan, it's harder to sometimes get access to these things. We're really happy to try this new treatment for Willa, so that hopefully her reactions to dairy are reduced. And it's
awesome.
We're really stoked.
It's really awesome.
Especially as we start to travel in like areas where she goes off and plays with other children. It is terrifying to send Willa out into the world. Okay, slow down, Bodhi. Bodhi, slow down.
What's it like living downtown?
It is absolutely awesome living down here at the waterfront. Right over here, it's a 2-minute walk from our doorstep, and we are able to see buskers and performers, and it's like Touristville, man. It's awesome. Every weekend there's things going on. Every day of the week there's things going on. I hear the music.
So Cape Town, downtown Cape Town is a working harbor, which is really neat because they got fishing boats, they got wharves like dry docks, multiple ones. There's boats coming and going, ferries, tankers, and all sorts of stuff happening. So there's always lots to watch down here in Cape Town. Yeah, it's a real working harbor.
Going into the dry dock again. I think they're gonna put 2 boats in there.
You got tons of fishing boats. You got wharves, all-out wharves. Oh, you got a tall ship over there. But we heard this huge crash this morning. Didn't know what it was. Turns out it's this. Yeah. It is winter here though now in Cape Town, and it'll be sunny one second and raining the next. So it's kind of why we're trying to leave, but
Basically, there's security guards everywhere, there's cameras everywhere, and you don't ever have to worry about going out at night alone or really anything in this little area.
no, keep going. That puddle's not for you, bud. So moorage downtown Cape Town is about $60 US a night. That's short-term moorage. If you were to stay here long-term, so many months, you'd get a much better contract. I'm not exactly sure how much the long-term cruisers are paying here, but it's a lot less than what I just quoted you. You do get the ability to live downtown on your boat, basically your home, without having to pay what, this hotel, for example, is charging. It's winter here now, so It's in and out, in and out. I think one thing I want to briefly touch on is crime, and everyone always, I think, the perception from foreigners that are not living here is that it's dangerous in South Africa. And to be honest, yeah, it can be. But we, especially here on the waterfront where we're living, it is extremely safe. There's a lot of security, a lot of police, and we have never once had an incident or felt unsafe. Really,
in this area, and to the point where people come up and like say, you know, you've left your buggy over there with a bag on it type thing. So security is always a concern in South Africa, and the South Africans are very hyper aware of it. And you'll walk, as you drive around here, you'll see there's huge gates with barbed wire and all the razor wire and all this crazy stuff. And I've never felt unsafe here in any part of South Africa, but we have been staying in some pretty, you know,
fortified places. Not fortified, but secure.
We've been staying in places with security. And the waterfront is one of those places where if you come to visit, it's just like this bubble. It's a bubble. We live in a bubble.
It's a bubble. It is a bubble. It's a tourist bubble.
It's pretty special here.
Yeah.
It's a neat place.
It's really hard to leave South Africa and Cape Town in particular.
Well, it's actually hard to leave because of the weather, but we'll get to that in the next video.
I want to show you guys something. So this particular ocean crossing, the transatlantic from southern Africa to the Caribbean, is going to be broadcasted with this. See that? Yeah, we got a Starlink, and we're going to be able to upload videos and upload updates, tracking updates, as well as real-time videos from the high seas as we make our way north. It's going to be hairy for the first few days. I think a bouncy ride. And then once we get far enough north, we should have nice following winds and beautiful sailing conditions back in the tropics.
And the Starlink sometimes is a bit iffy, so we also have the Iridium, and we've got the new Iridium Exact, thanks to Predict Wind, and the Data Hub. So if you do follow along, you should be able to see live what our conditions are out there, like wind speed, boat speed.
Yeah, it's really cool. So you get to see our true wind speed, our boat speed, true wind direction. You will see updates on. We blog a little bit when we're out there on the blog on the tracker, and yeah, it's going to be really cool to share that with you guys, our patrons. So we'll leave it there. See you next week as we make final preparations to leave, and for everyone else, we'll see you on the high seas.
Bye for now.
Bye.